She's from Hong Kong, so maybe she does speak Mandarin as well, kind of depends. But a lot like Southeast Asia or, I mean, India, they wouldn't be able to tell if there are inconsistencies in his Mandarin pronunciation. So that definitely, just because they're Asian, it doesn't magically make it so that they can notice that. So there is that. That really made it easier. Now I understand it.
So I'm Chinese. So 한국 사람입니다. 나는 여기
Oh, one is Chinese. You're right. Sorry, one is Chinese.
So nervous.
미국에서 공부했고 이렇게 여기 태어났어요. 미국에서
I'm
태어났어요.
so nervous.
한국말 진짜로 지금 못하거든요. But 한국말은 할 수 있어요.
Okay, don't walk around. We'll get you.
嘿，大家好，我是小马，记得要点赞这个视
我是小马。
频，还有要订阅 Jubilee。Now let's get back to the video.
You know, I feel like Asian YouTube was a huge thing for the Asian community.
Right.
You know, different place. Oh yeah, who y'all watch?
Am I considered Asian YouTube? I was like very tempted in this moment. Just,
I don't think so, mate. I mean, with all due respect.
yo, you guys ever seen that white guy on YouTube who speaks really good Chinese?
Yeah, of course, that's you.
I thought
Ooh, could you imagine if they said that? Yeah, actually, I'm surprised that they didn't recognize his voice. Because that would be a big problem when you're a YouTuber who is very, very popular. Because if they recognize the sound of your voice, you know, when he said, because I know he likes a lot the expression 就是, and he uses it a lot. It's kind of a staple of his. So already he used it here. He was like, 我是, 就是. People could have recognized that. I'm glad for him that it didn't happen, but it was risky.
better of it though. No.
Guava juice, my fellow.
guava juice?
Pinoy.
Okay.
And you remember Fung Brothers?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you remember Michelle Phan?
Yeah.
Makeup.
Community channel.
Community?
I was
Jubilee?
Oh yeah, Jubilee.
Okay, guys, I want to know, what is your favorite part of your culture?
Oh, the food.
So much.
I want to say food too.
Indian food slaps.
Indian food slaps. I mean, I agree with her.
Tasting it so much.
I think food is a kind of obvious answer, but I think really just like, you know, being proud of what China has been able to build and become on the world stage. Every time I go to China with my family, it's
Ooh, he's going with a fun. Oh.
just beautiful, like to see the cities and how everything's developed.
My personal favorite.
No. Dude, why did I say that? Okay.
Yeah, it sounds pre-written. It does sound pre-written.
I made a mistake there. Afterwards, everybody in the cast room was telling me, like, dude, that answer was like not what an Asian American would have said. Like, it just, like, you should have said food. That answer was what a young person who grew up in mainland China and like
Yep.
went to school there and everything
Makes sense.
would have said. But it's not what an Asian American would have said.
Very interesting, actually, sociopolitically. This is interesting from a social linguistic standpoint.
Honestly, the people, they have instilled hospitality. I mean, every Filipina is a nurse.
I gotta be honest,
Every
I'm not a
Filipina-
nurse. I'm sorry, Papa. I was gonna say I like Hong Kong because of how international it is.
Did you
I'd
go
love to visit Hong Kong.
to international school in Hong Kong?
No, I went to a fully local school.
You sound really American.
I mean,
Oh,
I just felt like the other Chinese contestants were the most likely to
yes.
call me out on my bullshit, like especially language-wise. Maybe best to try to get Leanne off.
it's something that I get on a day-to-day basis. My friends tell me I sound American. My white friends tell me that I sound whiter than them, and I'm like, do you have a least favorite thing about you?
Oh, I mean, I grew up in the Korean church. A lot of gossip happens over there, so there's always a little thing about like the Korean church and stuff.
Piggybacking off of what they had mentioned, we call it mga chismes. They're just gossips. Like, they speak.
It was a good move to try and call out the girl, by the way, for having no accent and she speaks English.
Behind your back, and a lot of times it will be to family members. So I think while we do have a great heart, sometimes we're not as kind to each other.
My least favorite thing, I think, is colorism sometimes. And the beauty standard is, you know, a lighter complexion is more beautiful, more gorgeous, but I love the skin that I'm in.
I don't know if like in Korean or Filipino culture it's the same, but like in Chinese culture, people can be super direct about your
Yep.
personal appearance. Oh, 你胖了, like you're fat now all of
I
a
got
sudden.
fat
Or
shamed
like,
by my
where'd
mom
you get all
In my videos, you can see this
True.
happen to me a lot of times. Like,
Yeah, it happens to her. It's true. Yeah, Chinese do that. They don't say it they're not trying to be mean. It's just how they are. It's a cultural thing.
I'll go into a store that I haven't been to in a while, and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, Xiaoma, like you've gotten so fat." So I'm very familiar with that.
I don't want to get cancelled for saying this. A lot of it is still like patriarchal, and it's so normalized. Like, you know, you see someone walking by, it's so okay to like fat shame them or like say, oh, they're so dark. Why are they here? Like that.
Patriarchal, though? Is it patriarchal? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not here. This channel is not about that. It's just about languages. I was just trying to understand that point.
It happens a lot.
Okay, let's see if I can survive round 2 voting.
I'm gonna go back to it. I think Kevin just sounds more white.
2 people voted for me?
Ooh.
Shit.
Caleb.
Whoa, everybody's voting for Caleb, baby! Yes!
Yeah, if Caleb goes
From
out,
the very beginning, I was like,
good for him.
I gotta get him out. He has to leave.
he has to leave. My gosh.
Why?
Damn, I really wanted the money.
Oh,
Gas is
there's
expensive.
money involved. I didn't know that.
It's in California.
So please raise your hand if you want to continue playing the game.
Oh, why not?
I'm obviously like, no, let's not continue playing the game
Oh, I see.
because I don't want to get voted off the next round.
So at this point, I'm the only guy in a group of girls. So I felt like I was in the hot seat, and then I was thinking maybe the only other person who people could be suspicious of was Leanne.
Yeah.
Leanne, do you speak Mandarin?
I do speak Mandarin. 我会讲一点点。
哦，你也会
会讲一点。
Yeah, 我也会讲。
哇，1、2、
对，听
3、
起来有点
4、5。
地道，好像
6、7、8、9、10。
很地道的样子。
Oh, 地道.
Yeah,
No, I'm
地道。
not 地道 at all because I learned Mandarin.
That's good for him. Yeah, I thought so because in Hong Kong, I think quite a few people study Mandarin, but there is a significant difference between Cantonese and Mandarin. He's lucky though because she could have been minority, I imagine. She could have been someone who was brought up in a household where maybe one of the parents spoke Mandarin or both parents spoke Mandarin, and then, you know, they could have been bilingual. But I think by then they would have already attacked him. So that's what I expected. Like Hong Kong probably doesn't speak Mandarin natively, so his Mandarin is fluent, and therefore she can't recognize the, yeah.
And at school, it was like a prerequisite. So my mother tongue is Cantonese.
I speak multiple languages. That's a
But
part of
the
growing
thing
up in
is,
South
like,
India.
you can always learn a language.
Yeah, I
Yes,
feel
you
like
can
Chinese
always
has
learn.
a lot
That
of,
is
you know, demand.
Yeah.
Chinese is a language that a lot of people want to learn or is in demand. So I kind of had an idea that it would be someone that spoke Chinese. That would be the...
That, yeah, I mean, sure. Interesting.
Anusha got me.
Detective.
I should have come in being like, yeah, I'm actually indigenous Australian.
Maybe it's Kevin.
At one point, I was actually suspicious
I don't know, man. Can you put on an accent that makes sense from that point of view?
of Cami. I don't think she was that fluent in her own language, which
Come
I
on.
understand. It's like you don't have to be fluent in your like native language. So who do we think is the hottest Asian, like Asian race?
Hottest Asian race?
I would say
Man,
Chinese.
that is such a strange.
I'm married to a Chinese woman. I had to say Chinese.
Of
But
course.
you know, when I ever see Bollywood movies and like the Indian actors in those, I mean, they're very good looking, man and woman. Yeah.
Can I give a shout
Amazing.
out to Dave?
Dave Patel. Shout out.
But I also started watching K-dramas.
I was gonna say Korean
K-pop.
men are so attractive.
Filipino.
a
Yeah.
little bit on the